as a young kid, you tried to moonwalk, and most of us were very, very unsuccessful. Prince, yeah, Prince was another iconic, legendary. I loved Prince's music. I mean, Little Red Corvette, Purple Rain. Just, again, a unique brand in the guitar. And again, you like that music that is so different from other music of that time. And Prince and Michael Jackson definitely are two that will never be forgotten. Also, thank you to Steady Expensive. Are you living in inflation? Is inflation getting you down? Are you notice prices rising on food and necessities? Well, check out Steady Expensive. He can give you some tips on how you can manage the current financial situation. And Zuckus, thank you, Zuckus, for the follow. And of course, my subscribers for re-upping NYC and EVC 13 months. I know I said it backwards, but it's over a year now. I get to play around with your letters in your name. You do it with your theme team all the time. We got NYC2, otherwise known as EVC, and I don't know what happened with number 1. Maybe that was a test account, or maybe he just has dual personalities. I don't know the reasoning for the 2. We got Andy 22, another couple of 2s there, because Andy's so young, 22 years old from Sheffield. Welcome, Andy. Thank you again for your 11-monther. Sean Sol 10, synchronicity, Sean. You got the 10 matching up with the 10 months. Sean Sol 10, Dr. Dynastic with number 7, and Dr. D will be back, I think, with Monday Night Baseball at his usual time around 7 p.m. Eastern. Dark_horse 414, MK Sen, internet _expert, Captain Kegleg with the 3-month subscription, Rich Rock, first month, welcome to the dog pound, Rich Rock, and Boof Bonzer 26, also first month subscriber, and of course Captain Kegleg, a wonderful member of our community across all affiliates, gifting subs not only to myself but to many other affiliates out there. Captain Kegleg, you are a pillar, you are a positive treat to our community, this small little community that we like to call family sometimes. So during the breaks today, you will see some thank yous to some of the subscribers today. And some of you on this list, I sent you out a whisper asking you for some information so I can make up a slide for you and help kind of thank you on my streams during those commercial breaks. All right. Also, tomorrow, Paul Sporer is back with the Sporers Tuesday Tourney Treasure Trove. Yes, that's a lot of T's. Last week, it was the Island of Misfit Toys, where we got some bronze, some iron, some silver, gold or 2. We will see what Sporer has in plans for us this week with his Tuesday Treasure Trove of goodness. So that will be on tomorrow around 11 a.m. Eastern, somewhere around there. Noon a.m. Eastern. Noon a.m. Yeah, that's right, Lap. It's Monday, noon a.m. Also, getting some people requesting specific cards. We got a Jonathan Papelbon. We got a Lenny Harris. We got a Tino Martinez, David Murphy. If you haven't filled this out yet and you want to send Sporer a request for his Tuesday Treasure Trove list, let me post that in the form. There we go. The form is in the forum. Feel free to fill that out. All Sporer asks is that you try and be as specific as possible. What is the player you would like to see? And what team? Maybe the year that player played on that team. And then give a second one, because always good to have a couple choices. We saw last week, who was it, Dogberry, the request that he made got filled, and Dogberry is probably still really excited and over the moon. Dogberry, if you're here, how are you enjoying that? Dillion, I think it was a Dillon or Dillion. Sounded like a French name for the card. All right, let's see if I'm missing anything. Punk doesn't try to celebrate Mondays. Well, yeah, I was in that same boat. the anxiety, the stress, the just the nervous tension on a Sunday afternoon, knowing I had to get another week going. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love my job, I love teaching, I love interacting with the kids, but there's still something about me having to start that process up week in and week out, and every Monday was always kind of a least favorite day. I enjoyed once I got by the first 15 or 20 minutes of the day, I was fine. It was fine. It was just another day. But the lead up to the Monday was always my worst time. The actual Monday wasn't too bad. It was just that lead up to it. So I don't know if any of you guys are like that too, where the lead up is worse than the actual day. Let's see. What else do we got going on here? See some Prince talk, some Michael Jackson talk. Can you request two? You'll ask for two Tony Suck 1983, or maybe a 1983 and a 1984. You just never know. What else do we got going on? Tonight is our last hockey broadcast of 2023, because we're taking some time off for the holidays. So join in tonight. We do have one more copy of the Steam version of Franchise Hockey Manager 10 to give away. We've given away about 6 or 7 copies already. So tune in tonight after Monday Night Baseball for your chance to win a Steam version of Franchise Hockey Manager. Tonight we'll be looking at the World Juniors from the Canadian perspective, Germany, Sweden, American. We'll be looking at some of the rosters for the upcoming World Junior Tournament Champion, which, other than the Stanley Cup in Canada, it's probably the second biggest hockey tournament that fans look forward to. It's 18 to 20-year-old kids that play for their country every time at this time of year over the Christmas holidays. So we're going to look at the rosters and make our predictions who we think is going to win the tournament this year. So that'll be after Monday Night Baseball around 9 p.m. Eastern. All right. I know some of you guys are here for the pack, so let's just get it underway. Let's do an early bird pack giveaway. 5 packs on the line, exclamation enter, exclamation ticket. If my giveaway, if Stream Elements is going to be cooperative, because it may not be cooperative. Let's see. Let's see if we can get it going. Come on. Come on, Stream Elements. Nope. So Stream Elements is saying, I don't want to cooperate. I don't want to give packs. So all you guys that are putting ticket right now, it's not working. Let's try it again. This, create and start. There we go. Consider your early entries preseason, the Grapefruit League exhibition. Now we're underway, and Punk AE, first one in. Pops Dongoria was first one in, I think. I don't want to give credit where credit is not due. Pops, you were first in today. No Jeff Steele Flex. Jeff, what the heck, man? What's going on? Jeff, are you someone check on Jeff. Jeff is usually always first in, and I don't even see his name unless it's passed me by. Okay, well, as we always do, we have a nice little bounty that you guys can get involved in, 16 teams. So let me go and enter it first of all so that I have a spot in it. All right, deal or no deal for the week. Here it is on the screen, and who better to give me advice, because we do so well, but our surprise guest today, and you're going to be seeing him a lot this week, from Denmark. Charles, welcome to the Monday Show.
Hey, thanks. Oh, does that mean I should not? Let me see if I can unenter the bounty then, if we're going to draft this one together.
Yeah. Well, let's not have 2 entries, Charles. Let's give the chat a chance here. It is the iron to bronze.
I figured we needed 2 shots if we wanted to make round 2.
Well, a lot of 2s in the stream today so far, so maybe that was a sign. So here's the deal. To win extra packs at the end of the tournament, you can knock us out for 5 packs. You can also win the tournament for 5 additional packs to the 3 that you get from in-game. But you have to take the deal. And Charles and I need to trademark this system, because it's a lot of people are using these type of tournaments, which are fun. They're engaging. They give us some interesting results. But this is what you need to do. You need to enter ID 22,
Yep.
iron to bronze. And today it's how low can you go? Not only are we using low level cards, but you can only draft players with a digit of a 0, a 1, or a 2 in their overall rating. So an 80, a 91, and these are low level cards. So a 61, it has to have a 0, a 1, or a 2 at the end of it. If you draft someone else, you're not eligible unless you bench them. Make sense, Charles?
Yep. So I did a quick look, but I've got some bad news for you. Somebody else has already trademarked the phrase "deal or no deal."
What? In it, okay, how about deal? How about lapse, deal or no deal?
That one might work.
Okay.
Go with that one.
Okay. I'll check with the registries and see if that's okay. Man, they probably give out like money and open suitcases and stuff like that. Some
Yeah. Probably
crazy little gimmicky thing. Probably hosted by a Canadian too. By the way, Howie
Hunt might be
Mandel
correct on that one also.
Yep. Yeah, I figure. Okay, let's go to the draft. How low can you go? Let's hope we get some good choices here. We got to keep in mind catchers. We want to get those. 1985, Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, which likes home runs, but it's 1985. A lot of home runs. Okay, here we go.
This may be tricky, I'm thinking. I'm thinking we're going to have trouble finding more than about 20 players. Oh, we're doing this as an iron to bronze too. Okay.
Yeah. And it doesn't say high bronze or low bronze or anything like this. So it's just going to be the luck of the draw. And already we got to bench some players.
It might be a high bronze round, actually.
Okay. Well, that sucks. Maybe then we need to go 0, 1, or 5. Because that's the lowest of the highs. 0, 1, or 5. So if you're drafting and you've done a couple rounds, don't be so speedy because we have to make amendments during the draft here. Looks like they're going to give us high bronze.
So if it's a high something round, you have to draft a 5 or a 6, and if it's a low, you got to draft a 0 or 1.
Yeah, that makes sense. So low rounds 0, 1, high rounds 5 or 6. If it's a mixture, go for the lowest possible. So we want 5s or 6s here. I'm thinking Lou.
Well, Lou Gehrig, that's a really good 5.
And do we want our first catcher? No, got bad eye. Herman Long.
Sure, we could do Herman Long.
No 2s anymore, Chess. Let's go 0s or 1s because it looks like they've got it. If you
already started drafting and you skip the first round but pick some 2s, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. If you got a few 2s in there, you know what? Let's just have some fun today. I didn't realize they were going to give us high bronze and low bronze, so we had to make changes.
Something to think about is if we think there's a chance that we're not going to get to 26, we should take a few lives that have a lot of positions.
Right. Well, 5s and 6s. So we're still in the high bronze here. 5s
for sure. We only got, we have to take 2 pitchers because that's what we're offered. So
yeah, we can't get Louis Castillo, unfortunately. Mickey Lolich.
What does Fulmer actually look like? I don't remember the card. Cornejo had a great card in I think a couple cycles ago, but the PBAB kills him.
He's pretty good.
Wait, the 66 Fulmer is pretty good. And it is a tiger. You can never have too many tigers.
Okay, let's do with that. Let's do that. All right, 5s and 6s. Yeah, so we got the high bronze here. So Marty Barrett.
Sure. Gura, let's see, Tresh say 66 or 68. I can't quite see. I'll just pull it up on mine. Tresh is 66. Look at how much eye Tresh has. How can you not take that?
Oh, yes, we got to take Trish. Oh, Rob Deere, relax, relax. We fixed it. I can't help it if people just speedy on the draft until we open it up. In the future, yeah, maybe wait until we actually draft round one, just so we can kind of clarify. We haven't done these iron to bronze very often, so. And
Barrett
usually,
Barrett seems fine, right?
which one? Gura? Yeah.
No, Barrett. Well, Gura's fine
Oh,
too, but you were saying you liked Barrett. Other
oh,
one's good.
yes. Okay.
All right, now we can take the zeros and ones.
Now the zeros and ones. Um,
We have a catcher who doesn't catch. Did we find a version of Vince Coleman that doesn't run? That's not great.
he runs.
Okay, he runs. He's sort of a DH though, which is a problem.
Yeah, not a lot of choices.
Swarzak was sort of vaguely playable.
Yep, I think
Actually, hold on.
Swarzak.
Buck Farmer actually has a ton of P BABIP.
He does. I like it. Let's do it. Um,
Oh, actually, we only have a few options, right?
Gibson, Middleton, Sandoval, and Horton, and Lowry. So we got a few.
So, I mean, if you look at Horton's ratings, he technically is a left fielder.
Yeah, technically.
We may not want to take Horton.
No.
No.
Okay, let's just look at these pictures here.
Sandoval's sort of a pitcher. So probably Sandoval's kind of playable. And Kyle Gibson?
You know, we're going with the Blue Jay. Sandoval and a Blue Jay.
Sure. Yeah, we don't have too many we're allowed to take. So
Elvis plays 3 positions.
yeah, but he doesn't play any of them well.
Worthen's
fine. He's at some point we are gonna have to find position players, I think, but
yeah. Pepper Martin.
Is Harper 61? I'm trying to see. Who's even eligible.
Lockman. I think we go Pepper Martin. Or Brian Harper. Is he a 61? Yeah.
Harper is one of the worst 61s I've seen. Wow, look at that card.
We only get 4 more catchers though. Like, are you going to gamble on one being a 0 or a 1?
Well,
or
the
a 5 or a 6?
question is, are we better off taking no catchers or taking Brian Harper and allowing him to try to catch?
I'm taking Brian Harper. Executive decision.
We might be better off with no catchers. But Brian Harper can't catch and can't hit. So what is he doing?
Okay, so now we're in the irons, and it looks like the irons are offering us all different levels. So we're still going to stick, I think, to the zeros and ones just to have some fun.
All right, then I think Pat Malone. Oh, and Osmus. Osmus is like a real catcher.
Yep, there we go. Osmuth and Pat Malone.
Yeah, if we're just taking the 0 and 1s, yeah.
Jake Lamb, Matt Olson.
Perfect. So what do we need still? We need a lot of outfielders. We have no outfielders, and we need some middle infield. We need like a second baseman.
Well, we don't have many choices here.
I think we have exactly 2 people we're allowed to take. So that's an easy round. Round.
Roy and Chris Sable.
Yeah, I think those are the only ones we can take, right? So
And
easy decision.
here we've got three choices: Darren Jackson, Encarnacion. No, Darren Jackson, Mike Lynch, and a catcher, which we have two already. So I
Well,
guess
we're
it's Mike
definitely
Lynch.
taking Darren Jackson because we just need people that can stand in the outfield.
Right.
I think we only have one eligible in this round, so let's take him.
Just one.
I think we're taking
Okay.
him and we're benching the other, right?
Let's bench who should we bench? Let's bench Dave Dravecki.
All right. I can't believe you chose to bench Trevecki. That is the worst pick of the round. You clearly should have benched somebody else.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, we got
Okay, we still
Ton
desperately need an
plays.
outfielder. Berger, Richie, or do we have any other options? Just those two are legal, right?
That's it.
All right.
And Charles, are you listening, Charles, to the stream on Twitch? Or are you listening through the program?
I'm listening through the StreamYard thing because if I try to listen to both, it'll give it the ugly feedback cycle.
Okay, good. Okay, we got a few choices here.
Well, we need we only have two who can pick. All right, well, hold on. What do we need? So we would really like two outfielders if we could find them. And we would really like one pitcher. So maybe it's the outfielder that we're short on, if anything.
Well, I guess Randy Johnson technically plays outfield.
Randy Johnson is actually not the worst outfielder that we have looked at in this draft.
Okay.
Does Pineda or Matt Williams, do either of them play outfield? Or actually, hold on. Does Wendell might just play everything. Let me see.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wendell has a little bit of left field, but he's qualified to learn first, center, and right. So I'm thinking maybe we should take Wendell instead, or both.
Well, we have 11 pitchers. This is 1985, right? We can get away with 11.
Oh, it's 1985?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, let's go Wendell.
Okay. Make sure you
wait, no, hold on, wait. We don't have 11 pitchers because we're benching one of them.
Oh, we've got 10, yeah.
But yeah, it's 1985. We can make do with 10, right?
Sure. Maybe we got a batter that can pitch.
Well, I've heard Randy Johnson's good.
Yeah. All right. So here's a look at our players. We got a bench Dave Dravecki. See ya. You're going over to the.
You can actually just take him off the roster if you want. Well, either way, yeah.
Yep. He's off.
All right.
4-man.
We could probably go 5, right? We actually did get some good starters, didn't we?
Yeah.
Raghavan and Fulmer are probably at the top, then maybe Malone.
Yep.
But I think we did fine. And with the lineups, did we cover a whole depth chart? Oh, Mr. Audit, Dyson would have been great, but he wasn't a 0 or 1, so we couldn't take him.
Okay, let's check our depth chart here. Left. I think we're pretty good.
You know what? Versus righties, I think we need Jake Lamb in the lineup versus righties for sure.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Take a look at that card. Little wee bit splitty.
A wee bit, huh? I'd like to see what you say for a card that is really splitty. Okay,
all right,
Jake.
Look at no, all right, no. He's not the splittiest card in our roster.
Who is?
Take a look at Randy Johnson.
Oh, I don't think I've ever looked at that before. Holy smokers. Wow, he's got good eye, though. His eye is better against the lefties.
Well, because apparently he doesn't use a bat. Apparently he walks up there without a bat against lefties.
How can you have a 1 in BABIP? Like, he doesn't make any contact with the ball.
All right, one sec. I will look up what year is this. I'll find you his stats. What year is that, Randy Johnson?
It is, he's age 23. So that would be
It will perhaps
1982.
shock you to know that when I put Randy Johnson into Baseball Reference, this is not the first player who shows up.
Really? Holy smokes.
But this is, what year did you say, 1983?
1982.
1982. Actually, there are 2 Randy Johnsons in 1982. Is this the third baseman and
Yes.
second baseman,
Oh,
or is
no,
this the
the
no, this is
Twins.
the designated hitter, the Twins. This must be the Twins 1982. All right, let me find his splits for you.
He had a 248 average, 1.1 WAR.
All right, here you go. Versus righties, he hit 260, 333 on base percentage, 440 slugging. Versus lefties, he hit 0.
What? So
okay, the
how many
problem is,
at-bats?
so this is actually one of the things that I don't like so much about the way the game, like the cards are rated this year, is that they're taking single season samples as being meaningful when you just need a lot more plate appearances. So these ratings are coming from a total of 13 plate appearances against lefties in all of 1982. He went 0 for 11 with 2 walks. And so if you give him his 0 for 11, that gives you, kind of these basically 0 ratings. But he did have 2 walks and 13 plate appearances. So that gave him some eye.
How many strikeouts did he have?
Struck out 4 times in 11 at bats against lefties, 42 and 223 against righties. I mean, he was not good against lefties. Let's be clear. He was not a good hitter against lefties.
Okay, well, let's check our lineup. Oh, we better
I
exit
think,
out.
hit submit. Hit submit. Yeah, hit submit.
Where is it here? Okay. It's
it's
full,
fired
but
already.
it hasn't fired off.
Hasn't fired. Okay, then let's try the following. Let's let Lamb pretend he can actually play third base. We'll give him the Izadafo treatment. Let Lamb play third base, and then we let Randy DH. We let Randy DH against righties. Because Randy does hit righties.
Yeah.
But we do not want Randy ever picking up a bat against lefties. Although, to be fair, there is actually no evidence that I can find in Baseball Reference that he actually brought a bat to the plate against lefties in 1982.
Well, he's not in our lineup against the lefty, so that's good. Oscar Grimes, he looks like he's one of our better BABIP guys versus lefties. Do we want him in instead of Claude Ritchie?
Sure, why not?
Okay, let's put him in.
So we could do. In fact, this would be a good trick. So if you go to Randy Johnson's sliders, like his individual sliders. This is one where Mr. Black was pointing out that he likes use of splitty players. See the pinch hit for player and platoon usage.
Yep.
Let's just set, just for this one player, let's pinch hit for him a lot, and platoon usage should be really frequently. The point is, we do not want him ever facing a lefty, because nothing good is ever going to happen when he faces a lefty.
So crank them both up?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right. Let's regenerate depth charts here. Notice against the lefties, they have him nowhere on the depth chart. Nowhere.
Which is good. They figured out that even the AI manager has figured out that a 1 is not a good rating.
Yeah, we should have taken that other other one. Who is that? That other one
I don't know.
guy
I mean,
in the
look, we
outfield?
got we got a player that we're starting at DH in the last round, so it can't be that
Yeah,
bad.
yeah. Okay,
And
so I think
but I just like that that Jake Lamb was not the splittiest card we drafted.
okay. Let's see if it's fired off. Otherwise, we might have to fix a few
Yeah.
things.
But the
It
most important hint
is
is if you were playing us, please don't draft any lefties.
yes, please. Okay, well, we'll check in on that a little bit later, Charles. So what we want to do is one reason I brought Charles on is last week we had some new tournament cards come out. Tournament Batch 5. How are you guys doing on those Tournament Batch 5? And the first perfect batch is not until Friday. It's the bronze that comes out, bronze only on Friday. So no one has opened up a Tournament 5 perfect choice pack yet. However, lots of other choice packs have already been given out. And what I asked Charles to come on is to give us Charles' top 10 Tournament 5 cards. Get your pens or pencils and paper ready because Charles is going to give you his recommendations on the Tournament 5 batch cards that you should be taking if you get them offered into your packs. 2 iron, or not 2 iron, 2 silver, 2 gold, 2 diamond, 2 perfects, and then 2 wild card choices of the remaining ones. And there were a lot of them. So Charles, let's start with silver. Give
All
us
right.
your first silver
All right. Well,
option.
I think the one everyone's gonna most need is Tyler Wells. I don't know. Do you have a slide on these, or should
Yeah,
I?
what? Just give me the position.
Starting pitcher Tyler Wells.
Starting pitcher Tyler Wells. Okay, give me a sec here.
So we know the live Tyler Wells has always just been in excellent shape for everything live. It's a card you like to draft. And now there's a PT Elite Tournament version, which is just a souped up version of that.
Wow, look at that BABIP. Look at that
A
control
lot of
stuff.
BABIP. Not a huge fan of the home run prevention, but if you were the same card and had home run prevention, he'd be a gold or a diamond.
Would he play in low gold? Would you play him in low gold?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And especially because I think is the low gold the one that's in an earlier era? Because in a little bit earlier era, the home run prevention doesn't hurt him as much as well.
Okay. Yeah. No, he looks really good. 77. So this is if you do, because you're not going to get all these in your choice packs. You might get between 0 and 4 from the new set. But if you do happen to get a choice of Tyler Wells, this is one of Charles' recommendation that you take. And I think over time, because silver, obviously, there are going to be more silvers than the other ones. I think so. You're going to see a lot of Tyler Wells on the market. So if you get them early, you might be able to sell them for pretty good price. But if you can use them, if you have a silver tournament team, absolutely throw them in. All right,
Yep.
number 2, iron card.
So I think the other thing in iron or in silver is that
Or silver, yeah.
I think you've been running silver, right? And so you've seen that a
Nope.
lot of the silvers. You don't run silver, okay? A lot of the daily and weekly silver tournament formats are caps, where you're really interested in getting some cheap cards. So one of the ones I think you're going to want in a lot of builds is this 70 overall Mike Gallego. I think he might be listed as a second baseman, but one of the advantages is that this is a card that plays a lot of positions.
All right. So what makes him valuable? Is it his 70 for low silver? Is it multi positions? Is it combination?
Yeah, so you're getting excellent defense. You're getting 102 range, which is just really good range even for a shortstop. But also the bat's really good against lefties. So the way I'm thinking about this card is a lot of people have been running Edgardo Alfonso against lefties, and then just sort of as a backup where also he could back up a lot of positions. And I think this card is just quite a bit better than Alfonso, plus 2 points cheaper. So anywhere you've been using Alfonso, you can just swap in this card, and it's 2 points cheaper, but also you're getting quite a bit better.
Is that overall or just in cap tournaments? What would you use in regular silver?
I'm also running him in open silver just versus lefties. But the fact that he plays 3 positions means if it turns out he occasionally has to back up shortstop or back up second base for me against righties, the glove's good enough that it's not a disaster.
Okay. EVC has a special request. He said he just replaced 100 Robin Ventura versus left with this Gallardo. Was it a
Oh
wise?
yeah. You could pull up. Let me see if I can pull up Ventura for you. But yeah, I think this is one of these cards where we're now seeing some silvers that are better than like release day perfects, and this is certainly one of them. Here. So Ventura, I do like Ventura's eye, but here I can pull up Ventura for you. Where is it? Sorry, I'm finding the right window to share this and managing to be slow. Just one more time. It's like it's my first time doing this, right? Here you go. Here's Ventura.
It's Monday.
Yep. So here's Ventura, and Gallego's a lot better defensively, and you can play him in middle infield. So yeah, I think I'd rather Gallego on a league team. I'd rather Gallego than Ventura because he's more flexible. Hopefully, if you have kind of a reasonably full build, even a really, really good 70 overall is not likely to make your league team. But, it's different for theme teams where you have strong constraints.
Right. Okay, well, let's move on to gold. Your Charles top 2 gold choices. If you get that gold choice pack, what are you thinking, Charles, for your first pick here?
So, you know me, you know my feeling about big bats. So
Yes.
I think we got to talk about Frank Thomas. That
All right.
is a big bat.
That is a big bat. Yes. Especially against lefties.
That card will put a big hurt on lefties. Yes.
Very well said. Yes. Now okay. So he's a high gold. Talk about open. Talk about specialty tournaments. Who does he replace? Is he a platoon player? Give us your kind of breakdown of how you would use him.
I mean, there's a decent chance you're going to end up platooning him. But I think you could just run this if you had to as the best DH in gold. Like it's just the single biggest bat. And also right now there are a bunch of lefties in gold. We've seen a lot of Frank Killen, we've seen a lot of Veen Gregg, we've seen a lot of Mark Langston, James Paxton. Anyone who thinks 59 stamina is enough to put him in the rotation is considering James Paxton. So there's a good chance in gold right now that you're going to see about 3 lefties in the starting rotation. And so a card that just mashes lefties is worth playing.
Does he play in low diamond?
I'm not sure, just because there are so many huge bats, just that little move up to low diamond, now you're up against cards like Mark McGuire, Hack Wilson, even like the PTCS Jimmy Fox. So I think he's the gold that comes closest to moving up. And until this past week, I might have said yes. But we also just, for example, had this Kevin Mitchell that was released. And Kevin Mitchell is basically, this bat, but also maybe plays a little bit of third base or something. Or there's an Albert Bell that's a 94 overall that's a tournament card from the previous batch. So I think it's tough for him to move up, but he's the one that would be closest.
How about versus Torkelson for a DH role?
They're both great bats. I have this bat very slightly ahead of Torkelson, but notice that Frank Thomas is a really lousy first baseman. And Torkelson actually has an okay glove.
Can you can you bring up Torkelson's card there?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, one sec. Here's Torkelson. So two differences. One, Torkelson's a little bit more balanced, right? He has more power versus lefties, but some other things are better versus righties. But the big difference is that Torkelson's a much better first baseman. So I think if you have both of them, you're just running both. You're running Torkelson at first, and you're running Thomas at DH.
All right, and you're saying for open gold as well, for a gold tournament, you're running both.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, there's gold number 1. Who is your second top 10 choice for gold picks? If you don't get a Frank Thomas, who are you hoping shows up in that pack?
I think the one that might have the longest lifetime, because it's kind of an interesting card, is this relief pitcher Tyler Holton, who's eligible for low gold. And it's kind of a sneaky card because the splits are pretty big. He's 83, I think.
Yeah, here he is here.
So there are a few things that are sneaky about this card. First off, the immediate thing you're going to notice are these huge splits because he's so incredibly good against lefties. And that hides a little bit the fact that this card's actually pretty darn good against righties as well. And also he has 24 stamina, which is a lot for a relief pitcher. So the card I think that's kind of worth comparing this with, because it's the same shape except a lot less splitty, is Stu Miller, who we've been running kind of almost everywhere we possibly can since he came out a few PTS cycles ago. And Stu Miller has exactly the same shape. It's just that Miller isn't balanced, right? I mean, he's balanced. He actually has a little bit reverse splits, and Holton's very splitty. So Holton is much, much better than Miller versus lefties and worse against righties. But I think overall, they're actually going to end up being about equally valuable. So I think we now have kind of a lefty version of Stu Miller in some sense.
Now, how would you use a card like this in your bullpen? What kind of roles would you give it? Just standard, middle relief, setup, specialist? How would you target him?
With Holton, you mean?
Yeah.
The reason that I'm interested in running Holton is because although, I mean, anytime he faces a lefty, he's dominant. But the truth is, he's really good against righties also. So I think if you have a splitty card that's not so good against righties, you have to try to use them as a specialist or play some other game. Like maybe, for example, you could use him as an opener into a righty starter so that if he faces righties, at least you get the advantage later. But this is a card where even though he has huge splits, he's actually really good against righties. He's probably still a top, 5 to 10 relief pitcher against righties if you ignore the lefty side of things. So for me, that means I'm just happy to let him pitch in high leverage spots. Yes, I'm going to face a bunch of pinch hitters. It would be nicer if he got to face some lefties, but I'm just going to still let him pitch in high leverage spots. And again, the other thing with these low golds is there are a bunch of caps that have a gold floor right now. And in a cap, it's even better because generally your opponents don't want to pinch hit because the gap between their starters and their backups is enormous. So in a cap, this is a great card because when he faces a lefty late in the game, either you get those verse left ratings or you're taking out, their Oscar Charleston and replacing him with, with Hugh Nickel or something.
In open gold, are you still keeping Miller and Holton, or does he kick Holton or Miller to the side, or do you use them both?
Open gold, my top 3 relievers right now are Robertson, Holton, and Miller in some order. Well, Robertson probably first, and then Miller and Holton in some order. So I'm just using all 3.
Okay. And another question we had about the Thomas and Torkelson. With those 2 cards in the game now, is Joey Votto insignificant? Is he out of the meta for gold, or does he still have a use?
Votto crushes righties, and you never want him to face lefties. So he's a perfect platoon partner for Frank Thomas, as long as you can find the roster spots.
So DH platoon, first base platoon with Torkelson.
I guess the way I would do it, I think Votto is better defensively than Torkelson, right? So I guess you would run Votto at first and Torkelson at DH versus righties, and then Torkelson at first and Thomas at DH versus lefties.
All right. Before we get to your top choices in Diamond, Perfect, and then your 2 wild cards, the Bounty has fired off. First game's about to come in, and we are playing the California Halos by Bahoot. We're playing that manager. I see the Halos in a lot of tournaments. They do fairly well. So we're definitely in for a tough run, but let's look at the lineup here. We've got EV's Baseball going up against Lap Block Dragonhounds. We got the Tasmanian Devils up against the Launderers. We got the Heat against the Valkyrie, the Norse. Grizzlies going up against the Starfleet Red Shirts. The Phoenix up against the Rangers. The Rangers up against the Lappers. Boise going up against those nasty Dodgers from, how do you pronounce that? Nashua?
I'm guessing.
And then us against the
Assume
Halos.
it's the one in New Hampshire.
Now we got to take a quick look at the Halos and see if they met the criteria here. 1 zeros, 5s.
Looks pretty good, yeah.
Yeah. The Halos have met.
They got a 2. They got to bench the 2, I guess.
Oh. So Halos, yeah, Clint Courtney. If you want to qualify for the Bounty, you have to bench Clint Courtney. I know he's one of your catchers, but you're going to have to make
he's the 61, but who was the 2? There was a 2 in there somewhere.
Was there another 2?
Wait. Okay, Clint Courtney is lit. You know what? That's funny. So Clint Courtney's list is a 62, but the card image says 61 because there was some change in there are a couple of these cards where I think the overall on the image doesn't match the actual overall of the card. So Clint Courtney is actually a 62 overall card.
Okay, we're gonna let it count.
The came with it says 61, and so that I can see where that would be confusing for sure.
Yeah, we're gonna let it count because on the draft board it was probably a 61, and that's an innocent mistake.
Yeah, and it's like how the only Nolan I think sometimes looks like a silver and sometimes looks like a bronze if you have different versions of like when you downloaded the images. And so I think this is besides the guy's nickname is literally Scrap Iron, so I think I think we got to allow that, right?
Yeah, you are good there, Halos. Excellent job on getting a team that met all the criteria. The Dodgers looks like they've had to bench 3. They've only got 23 players, so otherwise their roster looks really good. They're one of the teams we might have to face in round 2 if we make it there. And let's take a look at Boise to see if they have the right team as well.
You know what? This is a good point to ask if we have anybody local enough. I always thought it was pronounced Boise. And then someone who was sort of a local told me it should be Boise.
Oh, Brent 3232. If you're in the chat, I know you live in the city.
Anybody can tell me. I would love to get
Boise.
It should be Boise. Okay.
Okay. Don't throw my win. To qualify, you have to bench Danny McDevitt. 53 does not qualify. Yeah, you've got a few. This guy does not qualify. Roberto Perez does not qualify. So yeah, you've got a few.
You know what? I think they probably thought that you could draft the 5s, 6, and 6s throughout. So that's what it looks like they thought.
Okay. Tell you what, you got to bench the 53 though. The 53 doesn't.
53, I think clearly should be benched, but the others let's let.
Yeah, we'll
let the others. Definitely some confusion when we were setting this up. So I think anyone that tried to take the deal, we should give credit for taking the deal.
Yep. And it's pretty obvious. You can see pretty clearly who attempted to take the deal. All right, so those are the first 3 teams that we might come up against in the first 2 rounds. Again, winner of the tournament, as long as you took the deal, you'll get 5 extra packs. And if you beat us, you'll get 5 extra packs. Next up,
I'm hoping for the Rangers versus Rangers second round. I think that would be fun.
Rangers versus Rangers. Well, Charles, we are moving up to the diamond level now. And if you happen to win a diamond, low diamond pack, I don't know, how do you want to break this up? Low diamond and then high diamond, or
Sure, I
just
can
diamond?
give you one. I can give you one of each if you want.
Okay.
Low diamond, there wasn't anything I was like really as excited about, but the 92 Spencer Steer is probably the first one I would take.
All right, let me find him.
The main reason I'm less excited about him right now is that he really wants to be the sort of the weak side of a platoon. You know, I'm much more interested in playing this card against lefties. But at the moment, there aren't a lot of lefties in low diamond. So this is a card that could end up being a little bit better if some more lefties get released in the next couple of weeks. Then this card would become a little more interesting. But right now, I think in low diamond, probably Pettit's the only lefty that you're seeing, and Pettit isn't even in all of the builds at this point. So if you see 5 righties, then this card's a lot less interesting. You know, the defense isn't really good enough that you kind of want to use him as a utility player.
So what you're saying is that if you win a low diamond, you probably rather you had a gold pack instead in terms of the choices of cards?
Sometimes, yeah. Snell's a 97, so probably the other lefty that you'll see, there is a PT Elite Justin Steele, which I've actually used a little bit, but I think I'm one of the only people that use because he only has a 60 P BABIP. So, you know, it's kind of the same shape as Cliff Lee, where that's the kind of card that is a lefty I still like running occasionally. But a lot of other people have kind of turned towards something else. So I'm not seeing Steele on a lot of other rosters. I'm seeing a lot of Sonny Gray, John Denny, there's Tanner Bybee, another tournament card that just came out. There's a Pablo Lopez, you know, Beckett, the Musina that just came out. And I think Pettit's sort of the only lefty that's really in the mix.
Okay. So Adam saying low diamond is homer heavy, so Steele has been good for him in low diamond.
Yeah, that's the reason I'm running him, but it does also mean that you're running a card that has not just a little bit lower, but much lower P BABIP than basically every other pitcher in the tournament. So you kind of have to be comfortable taking your chances that way.
Okay, and a high diamond choice.
All right. Well, this one's easy because it's just one of the best cards out there. This is the card that I think you're going to be rushing out to get. It's got to be Vlad.
Vlad Guerrero.
I don't know if you've you've already looked at this card, but
the eye's kind of low, isn't it, Charles?
it is. But you know, if you have everything else, and actually, here's the thing: as much as the eye is kind of low, okay. First off, you know, I love the card art on this with one exception, which is they couldn't have gotten a picture from just like a couple years earlier, right?
Yeah. Now, is his uniform Montreal, but the logo at the top, the Nationals? Am I seeing that correct?
Wait, is that actually the Montreal uniform? I think, you know, I think that that does look like a Montreal uniform, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think that's the Montreal uniform. Now, what's the year on the card?
You have to be careful because it definitely doesn't say Nationals. But to be fair, the Nationals were not very good at spelling during that era.
Right, and I don't think they used like retro jerseys back then when Vlad played. So unless there was a time when they paid tribute to Montreal and put the uniforms on for a special game or something, but
no, you've seen the misspelling thing, right?
I don't think so. No.
All right, hold on. No, I got to show you. I got to show you an image then. One second.
And did Vlad ever play for Washington? Yeah, good question there, Hoosman. Did he actually play a game? I don't think he did, right? Didn't he leave Montreal?
I'm going to send you a link. Or sorry, I'll put it in the StreamYard thing. If you haven't seen this, you would enjoy it.
Okay, let's see if I can.
I was
See if I
going
can
to say
bring
it's
this
got to
up.
be an Expos card, and then I figured, well, okay, he must have played for the Nationals, like right after the move or something. I didn't remember it, but
So Spore is in the chat. Is that just like an error card that we can, make extra money on because error cards are more valuable? So when the Nationals wore the infamous Nationals jersey, yeah,
like I said, they were not great at spelling, so it's possible that was meant to be a Nationals jersey that just sort of came out as Montreal.
Do you think that maybe underneath the buttons there, the O is like just covered up when you button the shirt up?
I think that one was actually an error, but it sort of looks like that, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, there might be an O underneath the buttoned area there, but never thought to button it up before looking at the letters. I don't know. That's kind of crazy, 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 crazy. Okay, so tell us about, Vlad Jr. also has a 99 card. Different time period.
Yep.
It came out months ago. Tell us why you like this card so much. Who does he replace as your high diamond?
I think it's just an enormous bat, but from a card that also can play defense and right field. And that combination, I think, is just when we don't have anything like. Like this is a card. I mean, I'm still playing Evan Carter elsewhere because he's so good, but this is a card that's better than Evan Carter in right, for example. So he pushes Evan Carter to left or center. Um, I mean, we didn't even really have a right-handed version, maybe Adolis Garcia, but he actually has kind of the reverse splits. Um, you know, I will say historically, this is a funny card to justify, but I really like that it was done that way. Because the distinctive thing about Vlad is that it was almost impossible to walk him, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
what year is on the card? I can
I
pull
don't
up
think it
his,
shows a year. Not on this card anyway.
let me see there. I
What's
mean,
it
well,
showing?
let me see what year, and then I can pull up, what his, okay, 2002. Okay, no, so it does say in the database that it's an Expos card. So it is a Montreal Expos card, just the card art mistakenly says Nationals.
Okay.
Okay, but if I look up his 2002 stats, there's no way he will have walked that much because it's Vlad Guerrero, right? Yeah, so even in one of the better, kind of, walk seasons of his career, probably because there must have been a bunch of intentional walks in there. He had 84 walks, so it looks like Sporer at least went and found the season where he had the most walks of his career,
Oh,
which helps. But I think there was kind of a decision made probably to bump the eye to kind of make this a more playable card, which is nice because it means you really get to kind of enjoy using him in the meta.
yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Yeah,
We've
because
got our,
Vlad was a really hard guy to walk because you'd throw the ball in the other batter's box and you'd go get it, right?
I'm assuming, are you playing him right field? Or are you playing him DH or both? Or
Yeah, with that defense, this is just a great right fielder. In fact, the shape is even better because the thing he's weakest at is the least important. It's the error. I mean, this is like the Roberto Clemente that we really liked in Diamond, except with a lot of eye and a little bit more, bat in general.
okay, let's move on to Warbot's top 2 perfect choice pack picks. Again, you cannot get a perfect choice pack until the Friday cycle comes through. So in a few days, you'll have a chance to win those. If you do get a perfect choice pack, what's one of the first 2 cards you're looking for?
Yeah, so I think this one was kind of funny because it seemed like what we got were a bunch of cards that were not pushing the meta, but just a little bit behind. Like we got 3 or 4 excellent starting pitchers, but they're all behind Seaver. We got a few good bats, but actually the PTCS OT is still a better bat, I think, than any of the bats that came out. So I think there are 2 places where the meta really did get pushed a bit. The big one is at reliever, that this Mariano Rivera, and I hate to do it as a Sox fan, but I think I got to get you to pull up Mo, and I think we have to say good things about this card.
Okay. Don't let it blind you here, Charles. Here you go. Look at that blue,
maybe we
folks.
could get lucky. Maybe we could get lucky, and it's a misprint card that has the wrong logo on it. Could we just like take this card, but accidentally, put a Sox logo on it? But yeah, I mean, this is just like by far the best relief pitcher in the game, and I think this is a good advantage of. I think this is a good advantage of kind of what we were talking. I mean, example we were talking about before. This is actually a pretty splitty card, and compared with most right-handers, this is a much splittier card than you typically see in a right-handed reliever, except for like a sidearm guy, like a Chad Bradford would have had big splits or something, or Kent DeCulvey, but you don't tend to see it from someone out of this arm slot. So normally I would look at this and say, oh, well, they're huge splits. That must be a problem. But just look at how good he is against lefties. He's just the best pitcher against lefties by so much that even if he's also, even better than that versus righties, it's just a bonus.
How far above is he? Because wasn't Eric Gagne the best closer? How far above is Rivera compared to Gagne? Quite a bit.
Question. I've got the gap between Gagne and the next, let's say, open tournament. I've got the gap between Gagne and probably the next best reliever as about 0.08 of a run. I've got the gap between Rivera and Gagne is about 8 or 9 tenths of a run.
Oh, wow. So you're saying a pretty big gap.
I think the gap between Rivera and Gagne is bigger than the gap between the PTMS Pedro on release and the next best starter.
Oh, wow.
It is a relief pitcher. There's a limit to how many innings you're going to get. All of those things are true. I mean, just look at in fact, let me just make the point this way. So look at those ratings for a moment. Okay. So you got those ratings in mind. All right. Yeah. Here are the ratings on the PTMS Pedro. Just compare them. Rivera is just much better. Now, Pedro is a starter and Rivera is a reliever. So you're still, if you could only put one of the two on your roster, I would still much rather by far the best starter in the game than by an even bigger margin the best reliever in the game, because I'm going to get a lot more out of the starter. So I'm not saying that Rivera is as valuable as Pedro, but if you have the choice between one of these two pitchers, facing 3 hitters, you'd rather Rivera face those 3 hitters at this point.
Okay, let me ask you this, Warbot. Usually with Rivera cards, we get a very low stamina. This one has a 21. So are you going to use him as a stopper now as opposed to a closer in open?
That's a good question. I think that depends on how many close games you're likely to play. I seem to have this problem that I rarely get to play a lot of close games except on Sundays, and then we lose all of them.
Lowly Worm saying, issues with two pitch players. Are you seeing kind of an issue with two pitch underperforming?
Not that I've seen. Two pitch players don't work as well as starters, if that's what you're thinking of. You want to use them as relievers, but I think this is clearly a reliever. And then I want to make one more point here, which is that control versus righties says 128, but that's also the display cap.
Right.
So it's even possible that this is a little bit better card than it looks.
Okay, let me ask you this then. If you're managing a bullpen and you've got Rivera on Gagne, is Gagne simply a setup guy now with maybe
Yeah, I
stopper,
think so.
closer as a secondary role, or do you put them both as stoppers?
No, I think I want Rivera. I want Rivera throwing the most important, and I see Cage Wisdom says 70 or 80. But with 21 stamina, we've sometimes seen cards like this get to 100 to 110 innings even in league play. But anyway, I want Rivera, throwing the most important innings. And one of the things I'm hoping that we'll get eventually additional options for bullpen management is I'd love to see us have even more leverage options in the future. I'd love to be able to say, like, I want Rivera coming into game, just like we can have sliders that are different, for a 1-run lead or a 2-run game or something. I'd like to be able to say I want Rivera pitching every 1-run game, but if he pitched, anytime in the last 2 days, maybe don't throw in a 3-run game tonight or something like that.
So, unfortunately, you're going to use him on your team.
I'm going to have to, and he's not even eligible for the Escape from New York theme team because he never got out.
Okay, pick number 2 of the perfects. That if a Rivera is not in that pack, who are you recommending that our users or watchers go grab?
Okay, yeah. So I still don't see one ahead of Seaver for the starters or Ott for the hitters, but there is this 100 catcher Adley, where I think he probably is pushing the meta a bit. So I think he does belong on kind of any league roster at this point.
As a replacement for Pudge, for Yogi Berra, or as a platoon? How do you use them?
I think it depends on that's probably is ballpark dependent. Whether I think you want to play him with either Campanella or Pudge or maybe even Cochran, depending on your park.
Okay. Let's finish off the Rivera because Lowly Worm brings up an interesting point. I'm kind of curious as well. Would you rather have a pitcher with 280 pitches or 360 pitches? Do you see a difference?
I think in the base game, you'd get a very different answer from the people that spend a lot of time playing it. In Perfect Team, my understanding is the pitches get tuned to the other ratings on the card. So I don't think the number of pitchers matters so much as sort of exactly what the stuff rating is. Like the pitching ratings come together to make a stuff rating in some way, is what I'm saying. Spore might have something different to say about it if you ask him at some point how he goes about rating cards. But my understanding is that kind of the pitches get built from the ratings that Spore decides he wants to put on the card, rather than the other way around. And so I don't look at the pitch mix almost at all. I think in the base game it matters more because there's a whole player development thing. And I think Sergeant Mushroom kind of maybe was saying at one point that the way players develop in the base game depends on their pitch mix.
And Spore plays a lot of the base game too. Like he streamed a lot of the base game. So I think Spore has a good idea how the base game, functions and works and what you're looking for in players. So yeah, I think it would be great to ask if the 280 versus 360 translates differently over PT versus
but I think at least in Perfect Team, there's no player development, right? There's only one aspect of any player rating that changes during the game, which is you can get a little bit of training at positions, and everything else, the cards just permanently fixed the way you got it out of the pack or off the card shop.
Okay, so back to Adley, the catcher that you would recommend people take. Spore says Campy's number 1 to him. This would be number 2. You're probably similar thinking since you said this doesn't break the meta, it doesn't move above the meta. So he is
I
a good
think if
number
I could
10.
only take one catcher right now, I might take Adley because there are so many lefties starting to creep in. But if it were more balanced, I'd probably take Campanella. So that's what I'm saying is that catchers, I think between being a switch hitter and kind of having this more balanced bat, I think Adley's one of the two catchers that you want. But which the other one is and how you order them, I think is going to depend on your park. I'm playing Navin right now, so a very righty heavy, power park. So, for example, that means I would never play Cochran because he just doesn't fit the park at all. There are other people where Cochran's a great fit.
All right. Well, before we get to your two wild card picks, let's summarize for those that might have come in late. Charles, top 10 tournament 5 cards that you should be looking for, 2 at each level plus 2 wild cards. Who are your 2 silver again?
Was it Tyler Wells and Mike Gallego?
Gold?
Frank Thomas and Tyler Holton.
Diamond?
I think we should just say Vlad and Vlad, really, but we'll throw Spencer Steer in there.
All right. And now your 2 wild cards.
But definitely let's ask if we can get an Expos version of that Vlad card art. I think that would be
yeah. That justice for Vlad with the Expo card. But again, as Spore mentioned, they kind of have to use the cards art that they're provided with.
What you're saying is, I think we can put our tinfoil hats on, or maybe that's the EVC stream because I don't have the hat, but we can put our tinfoil hats on and say that actually Topps was secretly behind moving the team from Montreal to Washington.
Well, maybe Tom Brady will be behind moving it back to Montreal. We'll find out. Okay, wild card pick number 1. And what's your reason for it?
I think, I'm just going to be real easy with this. I like a bunch of these silver cards, and you can't get me not to like really big bats. So I just want to recommend a couple of really big bats. Kind of on the low silver, cheap for tournaments, there's Danny Tartable. He's 71 overall, and this is a big bat.
Okay, let me show it here. Here it is. Kansas City Royal Love. Well, big eye. Like the eye's bigger than the bat, Charles. Come on, give credit where credit is due.
That is true. He has big eyes, but also, this is just generally a really big bat. If this card actually had enough defense to play right field, then I'm playing it, even that much more. But even as a DH, there are just so many caps that, like silver only type caps. So a lot of the silver tournaments, you want cheap cards. They're low silver. This card's going to play. But then also there are silver floor caps where, again, for 1 point, you're always going to play this card over the 70s. So it's just a big bat. But it's not the biggest bat. I think the really big silver bat we got to look at is Cecil Fielder. He's more a big bat versus lefties, but so this is a platoon big bat. But that's a big bat.
And it's no Randy Johnson split, but it is like you said, very splitty card. But okay, so where are you using this? If you do have this card, first of all, does it play in open iron? Does it play in?
Yeah, so I am playing
silver?
him. Yeah, for sure. So I'm definitely playing this card in. Well, here actually, I guess since the tournament's running, I can show you what I am currently running in silver. Because once it's running, anyone can look at anybody's roster. So there's a silver weekly. So there's a silver weekly running right now. I don't know if this is going to turn out to be optimal. We'll see what everybody else does. But what I'm doing right now is I'm running both Fielder and Tartable versus lefties. Yeah, I'm running both Fielder and Tartable versus lefties, but I'm actually running Tartable at DH versus righties too because he's not that splitty. whereas Fielder is kind of just running at first base versus lefties, and I'm still running Cody Bellinger the other way. And I'm also running Gallego, kind of as you had seen that we talked about. I'm running Gallego at second, but you see Gallego just backs up everything on the depth chart, and that's one of the advantages.
Brazzi, you're using Brazzi, the 69.
I am playing bronze. I am still playing bronze Ozzy. So actually, Gallego is one of the reasons I did it. Is the fact that I kind of have a big range backup makes it a little bit easier for me to kind of play Bronzy and not worry about needing Seager. I think more people are going to play Seager. That's a good question. How many? I can see how many Seagers and how many Ozzies there are in the tournament. What do I want? All right, so there, let's see, about 2 pages, so probably about 50 Seagers. And not a lot of Aussies. So I'm in a minority choosing to play Aussie, but I am playing Aussie.
Is this 64 teams or 128?
128. So a little under half of the teams are playing Seager. 10 are playing Aussie, and there's one playing Phenomenal Smith.
It says in the upper corner, is that what it says? How many are in the tournament, Spore? What are you referring to in terms of the upper? Oh, 11 players right there. Okay.
They're 11, but one's Phenomenal Smith. The others are
right.
Aussie.
Right. So this is
it was for the Seager. That's right. I was counting Seagers. There you go. 56 Seagers. Okay.
There you go. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's handy. Is this
and 56 Seagers that have actually played? So that's not including someone that's on a depth chart and didn't get in a game yet.
Is this open or cap?
This is open silver. Open modern silver.
Okay.
And Chessifar, you're asking, are cards really worth 20K? Yes. Yeah, no, I think here's the actual answer, but I think the short version of the answer is yes, probably. The actual version of the answer is really a question of what else do you have in silver? So in order to get, immediately the 4 or 5 silver tournament edition cards that I really felt played, and it's basically the 4 we just talked about. So I bought Tyler Wells, I bought Gallego, I bought Tartable, I bought Fielder. I think I'm trying to remember, there might even be a 5th reliever that I decided was a smaller upgrade. I'm trying to remember. Oh no, I think it was maybe Dan Wilson as an extra catcher or something. Anyway, the point is there were basically 4 or 5 of these, so I ended up paying probably between 80,000 and 100,000 points to get them immediately instead of waiting to get them out of choice packs, which eventually you would get over time otherwise. In return, the bet that I'm making is that by running all of those cards at a point when most other people don't have them, I'm kind of betting that I can get 100,000 points in value back. So for example, if having them means that instead of getting knocked out in the quarterfinals of 1 silver daily, I win it and get a high diamond pack, that probably is going to be a card that I could sell for 75 or 80,000 right there immediately. So I'm kind of betting. Now, but part of the reason I'm doing this is because I'm not starting from 0. I'm starting from having all of the other silver cards. So if I didn't have all of the other silver cards, then I don't think I would have gotten my 100,000 back. But I'm betting that by doing this and playing a lot of silver, that I will get my 100,000 back. We'll find out if I'm right. But that's at least that's the reason I thought it was worth 20K.
All right, we have a couple more things then, and then we'll let Charles go. Charles will be back tomorrow for the treasure trove look. We'll look at the treasure trove cards that come out tomorrow.
We have the one important thing we've got to advertise, because that was the whole reason we came on, was to get the free advertising.
Just one sec. Before you do that, let's go over to the bounty. And Charles, we started off really well in the bounty, and then things went kaput. We ended up losing the second game.
Ooh.
So we won game one 10-6, then we lost 7-4 and 6-5. But it's heartbreaking because we gave up 2 runs in the bottom of the ninth.
Wait a sec. Who gave them up?
Sandoval.
All right.
Not the third baseman.
Yeah, I was trying to just check. Wait a minute. Did we that's right. We drafted
But on a good note, Randy Johnson hit his second home run of the tournament.
There you go. So your best draft pick.
Our best 40 level draft pick. So congratulations to the Halos. The Halos are going to take the bounty packs today. And now you guys are playing for the tournament packs in game plus the 5 extra ones. So the Grizzlies, the Heat, the Devils, the Dragon Hounds, the Halos, the Mashers. We got to see if the Mashers bench that 153 player. Let's take a quick peek if they're on here.
And unfortunately, all the Rangers lost.
They did. Okay, so good stuff for Boise. Boise did bench that one player. So yeah, once the tournament is done, I'll take a look at the winning roster, see if they met the qualifications. Congratulations, Halo, and good luck to the rest of you guys competing for the final tournament prize. Charles, yeah, you wanted to come on to do a little bit of advertising. It's taken almost an hour to get there, but what have you got for us?
Yeah, so this is something that we experimented a little bit with on our stream Friday night, but we've decided we're going to try to, just as an experiment, run a draft tournament, which really behaves like a draft. So we're going to get 8 teams, and we're actually going to, have the rule that when you draft a player, he's on your roster for this open tournament, and everyone else can't draft him. So it'll be a little bit like a fantasy draft. We're going to draft a mixture of cards at each level. So we took a shot at this sort of Friday night as a sample with 4 of us. Isidafo, Spore, EVC, and I tried it. But we're actually planning on running this. So we're probably going to try to do the draft on Saturday. Take a break over Christmas, let the devs get some rest because they're going to help us set it up. And then probably Monday, we're going to run it. So I'm not going to be involved in, sort of hosting the draft because I'm going to be one of the drafters. But Lap is planning on being our studio expert, I think.
I'm hoping EVC and I can co-host it and give some color commentary as you guys pick. Like, oh, what a horrible pick! Like Mr. Audit never would have taken him. What were you guys thinking?
Yep,
that kind of stuff.
But what we're looking for, go ahead.
I was going to say, here's kind of a little snapshot of the plan, if it's okay for me to show this. But
oh, sure, yeah. Could show what we did. So this is what a couple of the drafts looked like when we did it on stream. So it was a few cards at each level, and to get an idea of who we thought were the most important cards to take. So EVC kind of had a nice team there with with A-Rod and Pudge at the top. I went outfield, so my perfects were Oscar and Willie Mays. Sorry, excuse me. I went Oscar and Hank Aaron. That's right. I went Oscar and Hank Aaron. Anyway, we're advertising this for 2 reasons. One, it'll be fun if people kind of want to see how we do. But more importantly, we are trying to find 8 really good teams. And so we're still looking for a couple more people that are interested in joining us. The one thing you need to, the key qualifications are, of course, number one, you got to be around Saturday and able to draft and willing to have a bit of banter with us on stream. But the other is we want to make sure that it's kind of a fair draft where everyone has access to all of the cards. So that means your account has to have a big enough card pool that you'd be able to draft kind of anything you want. So we're going to not include the PTCS and PTMS cards because they're a little bit too powerful. I think otherwise, a few of them would get drafted. right? Like Pedro would certainly get drafted, Seaver, Ott, maybe Spawn. But we're looking for people that are interested, kind of play a lot of different levels so they have an idea of what the meta would look like, and have enough of a card pool that anything you'd want to draft, you have. And if you're interested, especially if you're interested and kind of have like your own model so that, the cards you want to draft will look a little bit different from the others, because that's kind of part of the fun. Basically, that's what we're looking for. And if you can let us know pretty soon, you can let us know here. You can DM me as Adafo, Spore, Lap. But we're trying to get this settled pretty quickly so we can get it put together.
All right, that makes sense. So again, this is not a perfect draft where you get to pick from different cards. You have to own the cards, and then like a snake draft, just like in fantasy hockey, fantasy baseball, you take a pick, and then that guy is off the board. No one can take him. Next guy, and you don't have to start at 100. You can take Bronze Ozzie Smith first overall if you want, as long as you eventually fill up all those categories that we showed here. So you'll notice here round 10, EVC took his 90 to 94 Hernandez. In round 7, he took 80 to 84 Boom Boom Beck. So you can take any player that fits those categories any round if you don't want others to steal them from you. I think the best example.
Yep. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I think the best example of that was, let's see.
Well, Adafo took the Bronze Ozzie pretty early because he figured there was just a big gap between Ozzie and all the other bronzes.
Right, and he took Evan Carter first overall, which is a diamond card, not a perfect card. He took Harry Ford, a gold card, third overall. So it's not starting at the top and working your way to the bottom. You can pick, and there's some strategy behind that when you choose the players. So again, get in contact with Charles or myself. We can, I'll pass your name along to Charles. He'll get more information out. Again, you want to run this when? When would they have to be available?
I think we're going to try to do the draft Saturday, and then we'll run the tournament a few days later so that we have a chance to stream it, but we don't want to run into people's Christmas holiday travel and seeing family and stuff. So we're going to try to do the draft the 23rd, take a little Christmas break, and then run it maybe, is Boxing Day a Canadian thing or only a UK thing?
It's Canadian. Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of like a, Black Friday light. Used to be a big deal, but now Black Friday is probably more important than Boxing Day in Canada, to be honest. Okay. Well, Charles, we'll catch you again tomorrow as we look at the new cards that come out.
Good.
Thanks for popping in and giving us your top.
Thanks a lot. And always happy to do my part and make sure that somebody wins packs before the end of your stream.
Yeah. Thanks, Charles. You're a giver.
Keeping our perfect track record in place. All right. Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me.
All right. See you, Charles. Okay. Let's go back to this screen here. Let's try and get back on track. Again, we'll be raiding into EVC at around 3:30. So probably about 40 minutes from now, we'll go in and check out how the theme teams are doing. But let's move on here. Again, tomorrow Spore is on. And then Thursday is the next new big release set, as always at noon Eastern, that Dish presents. Of course, we've got the 4 amigos that will be on the pre-hype show. Yes, we are going to have Charles with his own little segment, and I think you're going to find some value in the segment that Charles is going to present on Thursday. So we got 45 minutes and 4 amigos to get through the pre-hype show. And hopefully, a early bird card that we might get to release, or who knows, maybe 2. We'll find out on Thursday. So join us. Again, the PTCS this next cycle is in its 2nd week. So good luck if you're entering the PTCS tournaments. They're the ones with the little star beside the tournament name, whether they're perfect drafts, whether they're traditional drafts. Look for that little star beside the tournament name, and that is one of the tournaments that qualify you for the different drafts. All right, we're going to be back in 2 minutes, and we're going to talk online league, and then we're going to help pick some better players for my theme team. Back in 2 minutes' time. All right, we're back a little bit early here and showing off the current update for the Laptop Hound Daily lower level leisure lounge results. Yes, every tournament. Oop, what do we got going on here? Let's try this again. There we go. So I've been tracking every tournament since it was fired up a couple weeks ago. We're on tournament number 14 or 15 right now. Here are the current results. We see that in first place, the Dodgers have the overall lead at 11 points, followed by the Pittons, the Mounties, the Newts. And I've been fortunate enough to place in a couple of them. Again, the way that we're doing this is I'm going to award 20 packs from OOTP, 20 regular packs to the team that has the best overall score at the end of the month. So January 1st, I'll take the total results and award the first place person 20 packs and also do a random draw of 5 packs for anyone that is placed in the top 4. So Portland Sea Dogs, you have an entry. Ricky's Baseball, you have an entry. So 1 entry per team. If you finished in the top 4 multiple times, you'll still only get the 1 entry for 5 random packs here from OOTP. So Lap currently is in 8th place right now with 4 overall points, thanks to a 4th place finish and to a 2nd place finish. The Orleans Firebirds, D. Dempsey, took me out, took my hope and dreams away from winning my first Lap tournament. So this fires off every day about 11:30 Eastern. So get in, have some fun. It's all the lower level cards, iron and bronze, and maybe you can make the leaderboard. Okay, I'm just going to seem to be suffering a little bit of lag. All right, let's try that. I think we're back. Yeah, suffering big time lag. Sometimes when Charles comes on, I don't know what it is about his stream there, but it really kind of slows me down a little bit. But seemed to be working pretty good at a good pace here. So yeah, get involved in the Laptop Daily. I think today I have been eliminated already. Let me go check that out. Here it is right here. So yes, I lost out in the first round to Corey Street. Corey Street, run by this team here. Congratulations, winning Game 7 by a score of 3-2. Again, the winning run in the 9th inning. Not getting a lot of luck there. Yeah, Warbot brings the gift of technical difficulties, the gift that keeps on giving. So let's check who's still going here. We got the Otters, the Propanes, the Tires, the Stars, the Mets, the Dodgers. First place overall Dodgers are still in the tournament. Keep walking. Seals, the Wave, the Waba, the Honkers. There's Charles. Charles distracting us and moving to round 3 in the tournament. The Diamond Ears, the Spiders, and a few other teams still currently alive in today's Laptop Pound, lower level leisure. So once again, here is the leaderboard, and we'll update you probably again in a couple days. Get involved. Fun tournament. You can win a high diamond choice pack. If you win the tournament, you get one of those tournament 5 possibilities in your high diamond choice pack. All right, let's do the online league report. How are my created players doing? We'll do a quick summary, and then we're going to get you to help me out with the theme team here. Let's start by looking at, before I do that, this is how my teams did last week. Look at that winning percentage, 392, 257. 101 wins for the Gladiators, 102 wins for the Blue Jays, mid-90s for both the theme teams. All 4 teams made the playoffs, which again doesn't happen very often. My theme teams both lost out early, one in the wild card and one in the divisional series. The Blue Jays lost out in the divisional series, so all 3 of those teams will stay in gold. However, my Rocky Mountain Gladiators, the team that I'm going to get to perfect before the end of the cycle, I've got lots of packs, trying to do things strategically. They are making a move, and now they have made their way up to Diamond in a heartbreaking Game 7 final. So chat, I know how you feel sometimes. When you lose out to a wild card team, when you lose out in Game 7, or when you lose out by giving 5 runs up in the last 2 innings of a Game 7, of a championship. I was 6 out away from taking the gold championship, but those nasty crabs scored 2 in the 8th, 3 in the 9th, and took the Gladiator hope and dreams away of winning gold. We still get promoted to Diamond, but so close. And this is what's frustrating as a player, is you have the game in hand and something like this happens where we're comfortably up 6-1 going to the 7th. You would think the game would be in hand, but oh no. So believe me, I feel for you when you lose these games in close situations like this. But ultimately, the Gladiators do get moved up to that next level. So congratulations to American Samoa Land Crabs on taking my team out. And oddly enough, the team that beat me on paper was weaker. They have a lot of the older meta. You notice that they do not have any immortal cards in their hitting lineup. This is what you would probably say was meta, I don't know, Charles, a month and a half, 2 months ago. You know, maybe in early August, this might be meta. Doesn't look like they've done much with it. I don't see any of the newer players. Maybe A-Rod is kind of the newest player they have on there. Fred Lynn, maybe. So this is the team that scored 6 runs in the last 3 innings to take my hopes and dreams away in gold. Dynamic MLB, good to see you. Hope you're having a wonderful Monday. Let's get back on to the online league report. Now Dynamic's in the house. Dynamic runs a couple players too in some of these leagues. Let's first talk about, is it going to show my player here? Is it going to show Hound Streamer? I don't think so. All right. Hound Streamer playing in Wichita. Wichita, AA team for the Montreal Expos in the EMLB run by FKN Commish. The Wichita Surge, I believe they are, the Wind Surge, made it to the finals in AA. And the Wichita Surge beat those Poodles. How can you not beat Poodles? Like, how can you not defeat them? So the Wichita Surge are AA champions in FKN Commish's league. And the thing to note, EVC, if you're still in chat, Minerva, if you're still in chat, the thing to notice is Glenn Streamer. Look at the playoff. He is a playoff performer. He is, when it's on the line, Glenn Streamer performs, hitting 467, 579 OBP, 533 slugging percentage. He put it all on the line in that finals. Didn't hit any home runs, didn't have any RBIs, but took the team to victory, was part of taking this team to victory in AA. So I know EVC have this little side competition of whose created player is going to make it to the majors first. And albeit EVC had a great year in rookie, his player did phenomenal in rookie. But AA winning the championship, and Hound Streamer didn't even get the MVP. It went to this Ethan Moyer guy who is number 2. Like, I outperformed him. What's going on there? Like, in every category except for slugging. So I guess they want to award the guy that had the same number of hits, 1 home run, and higher slugging. But hey, I'll take it. 2 years in the league now, 2 championships, 1 with Bakersfield, 1 with Wichita, hoping to get my chance in AAA very, very soon. Who had more walks? Yeah. I don't know. I don't have the walk situation here. But I did have the higher on-base percentage, so I'm going to guess, based on equal hits, that I had more walks. All right, over to PBE and Hound Streamer. How is he doing over there? Well, the Brew City Bears, unfortunately, are off to a bad start. And for some reason, it doesn't want to show this. Let's try this again. There we go. So the Brew City Bears, currently 24-30, 9 games back. Yeah, they're having some struggles here. However, when we look at the overall leaderboard, 3rd year in the league now, in the minor leagues here, and Hound Streamer is 3rd in average, tied for 3rd in home runs on the team, 1, 2, 3, 4th in RBIs. So the last couple years, he's been a defender. He's been a Gold Glove winner. Now he's starting to put some things together with the bat. Here he is. Charles, he's got 17 walks to lead all infielders on the team. He's got a 289 average, a 1.3 WAR to lead all Bear infielders. Yeah, he's off to another really good season here. So starting to put some offense to the defense. Also, big shout out to some of the other players from the viewers here that made the All-Star team. Look at this. Charles, I hope you're proud of me. Hound Streamer made the All-Star team. As did our very own Wildcat Bandits, Rhino Legs. I'm telling you, this guy is going to the majors next year. Rhino Leg, you'll see a new emote in the chat, I think, for Rhino. I think he's got that new emote in celebration of the career he's had. He's got a 319 average, but you know what's impressive? 40 stolen bases and caught stealing once. He is 40 for 41 on the base paths. He is definitely going up to the majors next year. Congratulations, Rhino Legs, on making the All-Star game. Also, we've got a new rookie, Chess Safari, and his Tedford Wolfington Jr., who we talked about when he was on stream a couple weeks ago. Created this player, switch hitter, and man, oh man, look at that profile. Chess has done a lot with very little because you can only boost your player so much by doing certain tasks. So his highest rating is 43, and he's hitting 318. He's got a 1 WAR. He's got 18 walks, and he's made the All-Star game in his first season. So congratulations, Chess Safari, getting back into the mode of things with PBE. Also in the other league, or in the other conference, we got Dizzy Stoner, who is a creation of Sav 510 pitcher. So congratulations. And I'm not familiar with a lot of these other names. So if you're in chat and I missed you, congratulations on making the All-Star game. Also, looking at some of the leaders here, let's go back to the main page. Let's take a look at, is that this page here? Yeah, O's Bones. Don't cut the D block, Dragon. O's Bones is second in the entire league in strikeouts. 58 Ks for O's Bones with his circle change, his knuckle curve, playing for the State College Steed. Only Jose 43 Jr. with one more strikeout. So O's Bones is a fireballer, it looks like. Even though he's got those 2 pitches, he's getting a lot of Ks. Okay, yeah. So there we go. There's kind of an online league report. Congratulations to Tedford Wolfington Jr., to Rhino Legs, Jefferson Steel Flex, who is the one player I'm aware of in the pros right now. So Jeff Steel Flex with the New Orleans team, still making his way. His average is coming up a little bit at 242. Again, he's a rookie playing in the major leagues. Was rated the number 16 overall prospect in PBE. Fantastic, Jeff. Way to go. So there you have it. There is our pro baseball experience update for the week and how some of our chat created players are doing. If you want to create your own player, reach out to me. I can direct you to Punk, or I can direct you to some of the other PBE players, and they can push you in the right direction. It is no cost. You do not boost your players by paying money. So it's not like, here's $10, boost it up. Nope. You boost your players by doing in-game tasks, doing articles, making predictions on who's going to win games. Takes 15 to 30 minutes a week to get a good supply of boosts for your players. That's it. And you have to do it once a week. So I usually do mine on Saturday or Sunday. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. And these guys usually have shows on Tuesday, Wednesday, and I think on the weekend they might do one, or on Fridays. I think they do 3 streams a week. Yeah, and Jeff Steel Flex is the master of Photoshop. He's the one that creates a lot of the generation, the player gens. For example, I don't know if he did mine, but I kind of played around with it. I added the Andy from Sheffield logo, emote, and then I added BC for Brew City. But yeah, these guys do a wonderful job. So many people behind the scenes that contribute to making it a wonderful experience. PBE. Okay, guys, the last thing we have to do today is find out how we can improve my team. So I'm going to post this up. Let's go back. Giveaway is closed. I think. Where is it here? There we go. Let's go back. If you can stick around for the next probably 20 to 30 minutes, if you're able to stay around, then feel free to enter. And by helping me out with the theme team, you'll get 5 standard packs, but you have to be able to stick around for the next 20 minutes. So I'm going to run the contest here and take a quick break. We'll be back with the Hound Stream theme team in 2 minutes' time. All right, we're back and we're here to finish off by helping me add some players to the theme team. As always, I pick a couple of you guys from chat, and as long as you're willing to help me out and stick around, you'll get a chance to choose some members. So before I close that off, let's find out how many we're going to replace today. Anywhere from 3 to 7 are going to be replaced. And it looks like today we are going with 4. So I'm going to choose 2 of you guys to help me out. And each of you will make 2 different selections here based on what the wheel recommends. So let's go and open up our player replacement here. And thanks to a Rhino Leg for being on the center spot on the wheel here today. Okay, let's find out. Our first winner is yes, giveaway is closed. Draw a winner. Come on. Come on. I know you can do it here. Come on. Stream Elements, yeah, has been acted a little bit wonky today. Let's try it one more time. Monday Tech Issues. All right. If that fails, let me try this. Go like that. Okay, did that fix the issue? Well, this may not work because Stream Elements is not being very nice. Let me try one more thing here. Okay, refresh. All right. Yeah, we're not getting any cooperation from Stream Elements here, guys. So I'm going to take myself off screen and we will try and fix this. So go grab a coffee, go grab a refreshment. Just going to put on a little bit of music here as I try to fix this because I do want to give away these remaining packs. All right, let's try this. Draw a winner. Come on. There we go. Rob Deer in Headlights. Robbie, my good man, are you here? Oh, believe me, I've had many more Chrome tabs open than this. Absolutely. There we go. Rob Deer in Headlights. Well, let's see what you get to play with here. As we spin the wheel. Well, Rob, we get to buy a historical, or if I have one in inventory, a historical John or Johnny. Not Connie. No. John or Johnny. What do we got? What do we got for John or Johnny's here? John, all positions. There we go. And I always put a cap on it of about 25,000. So you've got a cap of 25,000 to work with here. So I'm going to put max price 25,001. You can see the players I own already. Here is our pitching. Oral Hershiser, Spud Chandler, Logan Webb. This is the PT Elite Logan Webb. Dave Steve, perfect. Fergie Jenkins, a limited edition. And, you know, a decent, but definitely we can improve our bullpen. We've got this Larry Cheney card that definitely can go. And for our hitters, here you see we got the perfect Billy Hamilton, Babe Ruth, Johnny Mize, and then everything under that is diamond or gold. Catcher-wise, Diaz and Ray Schalk. So, yeah, we could use an upgrade at catcher. We could use an upgrade in the outfield, probably. Again, we did make the playoffs in silver, so this is a playoff silver team, but we want that little bit of extra boost here. Nope. Dave Stieb stays forever. Sorry, Gabba. Sorry, Rob. Stieb, Fergie, and Babe Ruth can only be replaced with another version of their card. So you know what? If another Dave Stieb comes out that's better, we can replace him. He may stink to you, but to me, Dave Stieb, look at these batting stats. 21-9, 2 different seasons on the team, 19-8. And he's 1-0 to start this year. He's only had 2 losing seasons, 16-4, 147 wins, 103 losses. Come on now. Come on. Does not stink. All right, Rob, John or Johnny. Here are your options. John Valentin, Johnny Sane, Walter, Josh Johnson. Was a playoff team. Will be a playoff team. You won't steer me wrong, Rob. And even if you do, it's only 2 choices. So how bad can you make my team with 2 choices? Nope, no Jacks. No Jacks. It's got to say John or Johnny on the card. Either their first name or last name. So Cliff Johnson, Charles Johnson, Cy Johnson, Johnny Dickshot. Yeah, Johnny Dickshot's there. I do own a Johnny Dickshot. If your plan is to give me the worst possible cards, it's probably John Dobbs. Look at this guy. Although Charles would say it's not the worst card. Because look at that eye. Right now, catchers for me definitely could use an upgrade. Rob, Ray Schock and Elias Diaz. Diaz has hit in the low 200s most of his time on the team. Career fielding, he's been up and down. Ray Schock, who's a good gold catcher. There's nothing wrong with Ray Schock as a gold catcher. But again, he's not really a hitter. So here you go. Here's all of our Johnny choices again. Under 25 because I'm cheap. Yes. You know what? For you, Rob, for you, even though you don't like Dave Stieb, it did not say on the wheel the amount. So I've got 157,000. Feel free. Only cards I can afford, I'm going to put up there. So if you want to go with a different John, here's what you have available. You want that Tommy John limited edition for 70,000? You want Charles Johnson, tournament edition Charles Johnson? You want Johnny Bench on the team? All right, grab Charles Johnson for Diaz. Okay, Charles Johnson. Are you talking the gold or the diamond? That diamond for that price, I don't know. John Donaldson, Heavy Johnson, John Tudor, Johnny. I got Johnny Mize already. Home Run Johnson. Hey, now there's a card. That's the one I would definitely lean to, is Home Run Johnson. All right, what do we see here? I was talking about the gold. So gold. Who plays the infield right now? It is Newt Allen, Josh Donaldson, Sam Bankhead, Barry Larkin, and that's it. I mean, Charles Johnson is still probably an upgrade over Elias. Grab John McGraw. John McGraw. Grab this guy here, John McGraw. All right, final answer here, Rob. John McGraw, this one, 94 tournament edition. Throw him at third base. Okay, John McGraw it is. 36,000. And who do you want me to take out? Josh Donaldson is the odd man out here, I would think, since he's the guy that isn't getting any playing time. Yeah, Josh isn't very good. Okay, so let's do that. Let's take out Josh Donaldson and let's put in John McGraw. Mind you, the game is simming right now, so I might have to redo this later. So let's see if we can get lucky there. Submit. All right, Rob, let's see what you get to do now. All right, we're going to open up 3 historical packs. A silver, a gold, and a diamond historical, and you get to choose the card from one of those 3 packs to use. Silver, gold, and diamond. All right, we will start at the bottom with our silver historical. We've got the Branch Russell and the Homer Bush. We got a Russell and Bush as our 2 silver cards. Next, on to the historical gold. Not much, not much. Who do we got? We've got Hideki Matsui as a possible option to move into our outfield. And our diamond is going to be, well, no one else here really stands out. So we're hoping this is better than Matsui as a choice, I would think. What do we got? Okay, we have a Sam Streeter. So you've got Russell, Bush, Matsui, and Streeter as kind of the top cards from each of those packs there. Again, Streeter definitely makes a difference. He could come in for Larry Cheney, for Scott Strickland, Rick Sutcliffe. So definitely a lot we could do there. If you choose Matsui, we'd have to take out James Wood, Billy Hamilton, Jose Bautista Tournament Edition, or Baseball Reference 3, Nelson Cruz. Here is that Sam Streeter card. And Matsui, I think, was 83, 84. There's the Matsui card. I mean, based on players you'd have to take out, I think the pitcher is the easier choice, but hey, it is up to you. Well, I don't have Fred Baby, but I do have Larry Cheney. I'm assuming that's the guy you want. Yeah, I'm assuming that's probably the upgrade. Let's see if I can show both of them. Nope. Old-timey guy with no face. Okay, let's do that. Cheney is out and Sam Streeter is in. Somewhere. There he is. All right, make sure he gets in the lineup here. And John McGraw gets into third base. For now, we'll just throw him in there. We'll fix this a little bit later. All right, thanks, Rob. 5 packs will be making their way to your account. Let's find out who else gets to help me out here. Winner number 2. Is Jeff Steele Flex. Jeff, are you still in chat? My fellow PBEer, Jeff Steele Flex. Give it to the next guy. You're on a work call? Okay. Don't cut the D block, Dragon. Oh, no. D block, are you on a work call too? Are you here? D block, going once, going twice. Oh, there he is. He's not on a work call. Okay, well, let's see if the wheel is kind to us. So we did make 2 upgrades that very happy with. John McGraw and Sam Streeter, better than what we have. Now we get to open 3. So you get it even better than Rob had it. We get to open 3 historical diamond packs. Okay. So I know you're hoping that there's a Connie Rector in one of these packs. Let's find out. The kryptonite, exactly, Fussmucker. You know, I was worried about Rob, but deep down, I know Rob is a good guy and wouldn't destroy my team on purpose. D Block, no, I'm just kidding. D Block wouldn't do that. By the way, catch D Block streaming Sunday morning before Cavicom, right here on Twitch. Okay, so we've got Bill Robinson. Better write these names down. Bill Robinson. And our first diamond historical, Trevor Story, who has been on the team before and did not do very well. Bill Robinson is a newer card, so he might be okay. Next up, Come on, throw a perfect in there. We got Willie. We've got Ace Adams, Archie McCain, Dale Murphy, Phil Ortega, and we've got Baseball Reference 3, Dave Ortiz. Gotta like that Boston Red Sox power. That's a fun one. And our final historical diamond pack is 78 Bobby Bonilla. Did not get your Connie Rector or Johnny Dick shot. Instead, you get Ed Delahanty. Ace Adams, yeah, that Ace Adams. He was one-time meta in bronze, absolutely. If there's a mod, EBC, can you take off the good news for you? Can you delete that if you haven't already? I mean, we all like good news, absolutely. Ortiz it is? Okay, well, when you make that decision, we gotta pull someone off the team here. So Ortiz would play first or DH. And right now I've got a logjam at DH, Guerrero Jr., Johnny Mize, Rafael Palmeiro Immortal. So which one do you want to take off, D-Block? Who leaves the team? Good news for you, they're gone. Thanks, EVC. Palmeiro, okay, that would have been my choice too. So Palmeiro is gone. Ortiz is in. Let's throw him in quickly against the righties. First base. For Johnny Mize, just for now. We can fine tune that later. Okay, let's go to your second replacement. I think we're 3 for 3 so far in upgrades. Ortiz over Palmeiro. Cheney gets taken out for Reeder. And then we have John McGraw coming in for Josh Donaldson. And D-Block, we're going to open up my highest choice pack. Let's hope it's not a silver. Okay, we haven't done this one before, I don't think. I don't think we've opened up a choice pack. Is Josh Donaldson still on the team? Why is he still on the team? Yeah, good question. John McGraw. Yeah, maybe a sim came in. I'll have to fix that. Is the pitcher off the team? No, Larry Cheney's still on the team too. So thanks for pointing that out. I will fix that. All right, so let's open up our highest choice pack. We attract the good news. Come on, fetch choice pack, fetch choice pack. Actually, an ad break just kicked in, guys. So let's go to that quick while I load this up. Back to finish off the show, and then we'll head over to EVC in less than 10 minutes. Come on, choice pack, load up. All right, here we are to finish off the show. We've got one more decision to make. D Block Dragon is going to take a look at the choice pack and pick one of the cards to put on our team. And choice packs, we got, I guess our highest choice pack is I'm going to leave this one to you, D Block, because some might think the T 1 to 5 gold is better than the T 1 to 4 diamond. So which one would you like to take a card from? Tournament batch 1 to 5 gold or tournament batch 1 to 4 high diamond? Take the high diamond? Okay, we will take the high diamond. So one of these players will be joining the team. A-Rod, Cargo, Queller is already on the team. Beltray, Saberhagen, Meekin, Smalley, Hutchinson, Correa, Brandon Webb, Dean Chance, or Freddie Shoup. Three TB4 and none of the ones you want. Yep. Yeah, Frank Thomas could have been a nice addition, but we went with the diamond instead. So I'm guessing probably a pitcher because I don't think any of these hitters are better than what we have. So it's probably one of Webb, Dean Chance, or Shoup. Yeah, probably the best profile. Walk a few people, but hey, probably throw him in the bullpen. I don't think he makes a starting lineup. So final decision, going with the Freddie Shoup. Yep, Shoup. And I think you want the pack sent to O's Bones. That's the one you want it sent to. So I will fix that up off stream and make sure we get the right teams on, the right players on the right team. And I think overall we have an upgrade. So if we made the silver playoffs last week, I think we upgraded 4 positions. Hopefully we can at least make the playoffs this week. Well, guys, that is it. Thank you guys for those of you that followed, except maybe good news for you. Sorry, my mod got out of control and just had to ban you. Good news for you. So, yeah, it was a thing. Thank you guys again for those of you that did follow. Again, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, especially at this time of year. It is a great day for baseball. We are going to raid over to the theme team conductor and hear about his week with his team and also the other theme teams out there. I am back tomorrow. Charles will be back as we look at the treasure trove content that comes out tomorrow morning. Congratulations to the winners. The bounty tournament has not quite finished yet, but once it does, I'll find out who won and they'll get their packs as well. Laptop Hound signing off. We're here for a good time, not a long time. So have a good time. The sun can't shine every day.
A very good friend of mine told me something the other day. I'd like to pass it on to you. I believe what he said to be true. He said we're here for a good time, not a long time. So have a good time. The sun can't shine every day.